Hi everyone, my name is Dave and welcome to Extra Credit, a video series where we take an unscripted look at topics related to local history and exploring that history. Okay, so as we normally do at the start of every episode, just a quick reminder to visit my website. You'll find a link in the description. There you'll find all kinds of content related to the topics we take a look at in this video series and then some, including a section for extra credit. So if you're new to the video series, you haven't seen anything that we've covered in the past, or if you've seen episodes before and maybe you missed something, or maybe you want to go back and revisit an episode, you're going to find a list of everything that we've covered in the past, and you're also going to find a list of some of our upcoming videos, so you'll get a little bit of a heads up on what we're going to be covering in the coming months. Additionally, you're going to find me on social media, so you're going to find me on Facebook and you're going to find me on Instagram. And last but not least, if you haven't already done so, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification. There's always a delay between when content is posted on YouTube and then when it comes out on social media. Sometimes that delay can be months or even longer. So for example, some of our exploration videos that we're doing, there's some that I recorded last year and have yet to be posted on social media just because of the order that we're doing things in, and they won't even be coming out until the fall time. So if you're subscribed, if you have the notifications turned on, you will get that content just as soon as it's posted here on the channel. So as you can see from the title, today is we're going to be taking a look at the next segment in our Grand Trunk Pacific sub-series. So what we've done is we've done two other episodes already. We've gone over the history of the Grand Trunk Pacific in this area, and we've also gone out in the field and we've explored part of the railway line in the city of Thunder Bay in an area known as the Moose's Nose. So in this video, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be taking our field work a little bit further afar, and we are going to be going to an area northwest of the city, to a place called Sistonens Corners. Essentially, most people know it as the intersection of two highways in the area. So basically, there is a secondary highway that's called Highway 102, and basically it works its way from the city of Thunder Bay west, and where it joins up with the main highway, which is 1117, that area is known as Sistonens Corners. So that kind of was a very big sort of railway section, because essentially you have in that area three railway lines that sort of converged: the Grand Trunk Pacific, the Canadian Pacific, and the Canadian Northern. So the reason why I wanted to take you to this area, because it's actually one of my favorite sections of the railway grade, and it's kind of a really neat area to explore. So just to kind of give you a little history on what sort of transpired in the area and what we're sort of taking a look at. So again, there were three railway lines that sort of passed through the area, and what happened is that this line, the Grand Trunk Pacific Lake Superior branch, eventually was taken over by the Canadian government. And so just to kind of give you a little sort of history of it. So basically the Grand Trunk Pacific was part of a broader partnership between the Grand Trunk Company and the Canadian government to build a second transcontinental line. Grand Trunk was going to build a line from Winnipeg, build the line, or part of the line from Winnipeg west to Prince Rupert on the Pacific Ocean under the name Grand Trunk Pacific. The Canadian government was going to build the eastern portion from Winnipeg to New Brunswick under the name National Transcontinental. And this branch line was going to provide access for the network to Lake Superior. Now, what happened is that Grand Trunk was going to operate the eastern portion, the NTR, but when it came time to actually do that, the agreement kind of fell apart. So now the Canadian government had a railway line that they had no one to operate. And so in order to facilitate that, in 1915, they created their own railway company known as the Canadian Government Railways. And eventually what happened, because the Lake Superior branch connected to the NTR, even though it was a Grand Trunk line, it was leased by the Canadian Government Railways. And so it became part of their network. And then in 1918, late 1918, the Canadian government decided to amalgamate the Canadian Government Railways with Canadian Northern Railway, which was basically in financial difficulty. And that merger created Canadian National Railways. And that took effect in January of 1919. Sorry, there's a bit of a breeze, which is nice, but the black flies are crazy this weekend. They're just sort of out in full force. And so they're buzzing around me. I do have long pants on, which is helping, but I am kind of getting buzzed in my face and my arms and things like that. So what happened is that when Canadian National Railways came about, one of the first things they started doing, at least in the Thunder Bay area, was looking at their lines and looking at what they could consolidate. And they actually had a prime candidate moving west out of Thunder Bay. So basically you had two lines running in the same area for roughly about 30 miles. You had the Grand Trunk Pacific, which we are talking about, and then you had the former Canadian Northern Line, which ran to right in my eye, ran to Atikokan, Fort Frances, Rainy River, crossed into the United States, and then back up to Winnipeg. So what they decided to do was to consolidate the line. And so they would use the Canadian Northern Line because it had the best route westward out of Thunder Bay. And so what they decided to do was they were going to double that line, which was now the Canadian National Kashabawi subdivision. They were going to double it to a place called Conmee Junction. And then what would happen was the Kashabawi subdivision would continue on to Atikokan, and then the Grand Trunk line, they built a new bridge over the Matawin River. And essentially that would basically, the line would use the Kashabawi subdivision to that point, Conmee Junction. It would split, cross the river, and rejoin the original line. So the Grand Trunk Pacific, basically as it was coming out of Thunder Bay, hugged the eastern side of the Kaministiquia River. And the Kaministiquia River was basically formed by a confluence of the Matawin and the Dog River. And so the Grand Trunk Pacific hugged the eastern side of the Kaministiquia River right up to that confluence point, crossed the Dog, the eastern side, crossed over, and then ran along the north bank of the Matawin. And as I'm describing this, I'm going to show you a map, so you'll basically see what I'm kind of describing right now. So when that bridge was built, everything from the north bank of the Matawin River back towards Thunder Bay, which was about 28 or 29 miles of track, was going to be abandoned. And then basically the line, which now was known as the Canadian National Graham subdivision, would again follow the Kashabawi subdivision, split off, and then resume its original route. And so in preparation for the abandonment of the eastern portion of the original line, it was actually split into two. So the Crest subdivision would be the old line coming up, and then the Graham subdivision would basically be the new line. And so that in 1925, the abandonment took effect. So the Crest subdivision was abandoned, and the Graham subdivision now basically started at Conmee Junction, which was the split point between the Kashabawi subdivision and the Graham subdivision, running across the river. So again, that eastern portion was abandoned. So where we would be going, or where we are going, is essentially taking a look at a piece of that original line. So what happened is that west of Dog River Junction, the line continued to operate until 1994. East of Dog River Junction, the part of that line became a road known as Forbes or Grand Trunk Road. But there was a piece that didn't become road. Forbes Road only went up to a certain point. So there was a section of grade that was left in its original condition. And again, I'll show you a piece of map here and you'll see what I'm referring to. So what had happened is in early October last year, I was in the area because I was going to be shooting some drone footage for my video on the bridge that CN had built back in 1923 to reroute the line. And while I was there, I wanted to basically record a portion of that original bed right from where Forbes Road ends to Dog River Junction. And so essentially we followed that piece of line. Again, it's a beautiful, beautiful piece of line. It's one of my favorite pieces of track. Again, it's part of that original line that was abandoned in 1925. It's in very, very, not pristine condition. It is used as a, and has been used as a long time for as an ATV trail, but you know, basically was never turned into a road, so it still has sort of its original narrowness. You're going to see in places that there are ties that are still in place, and so again, it's just an amazing piece of railway grade to see. So without any further ado, let's take a look at the video. Okay, so here we go on this little adventure. So we're leaving behind Forbes Road, and we are going to be heading down this former piece of grade. Luna's got the Luna Cam activated, so hopefully that turns out. You can check out her video. I was last down here in the springtime. Is a little wetter than it is now. So again, this is the original section of grade, and this, along with everything about 28 miles to the east, was abandoned in 1925 when CN rerouted the line. It's a beautiful, beautiful section of grade. We're running alongside the Matawin River here, which you're going to see in a little bit. Beautiful little trail, beautiful fall morning this morning. Kind of makes you sort of, or gives the impression of what it would have been like to ride on this line back when it was still new, right? It is kind of a bit of a all-terrain vehicle trail, but it really hasn't been drastically changed. Lots of routes and things like that to ride over. As you can see here, camera will smooth everything out, but it is quite bumpy. Just one little piece of rock cut here. Wind is picking up here, which is not good because we are out here to do some drone flying, and we did some already, but we need to do some more, and the wind is not helpful, and Luna is like slowing down. I don't think she likes the camera, because she was running like crazy before, and now she's kind of a little bit on the pokey side. Oh, these roots are terrible. There's a big one coming up here. Let the dog go first. Watch out, Loon. We saw at least one grouse, one partridge. I don't know if we'll see any more. So again, this was the original grade in 1923, Canadian National Railways.
which had taken over the line in 1919, just after it was formed. Basically built a bridge over the river, which we are going to go take a look at, to reroute the line. And the reason why they did that is basically they had duplicated sets of lines. They had this line, which was the Grand Trunk Pacific and later Canadian Government Railways line. And then they had the former Canadian Northern line. So basically they had two lines coming out in this direction. The Canadian Northern line was a little bit better in terms of its grades and its route. So what they decided to do was use that line coming west up until this point here. And they built this bridge across the river, and they doubled the line. They doubled the former Canadian Northern line, which was the Kashabawi subdivision. They doubled it up until this point, which became known as Conmee Junction. And there the line split, and the Kashabawi subdivision would continue to the west. And this line, which became the Graham subdivision, would pick up this line just up ahead and continue along its original route. So that bridge was built in 1923. The new line opened in 1924, and they kept this section around for another year until they eventually got rid of this section. The other line was split into two subdivisions for a time, and then it went back to being called the Graham subdivision, which most people know it as. And this section here, so this section again was everything from here back to the east was abandoned. Here you can see there probably was an old wooden box culvert under here that collapsed. Was abandoned, and this piece was kept around as a spur, and that's why you can see here, and we're going to see a bunch of these, you can see a bunch of ties still in place, so some of them with the spikes still in them. So this spur basically lasted from 1925 until 1990. It was originally bigger, and then it kind of got smaller. The junction point up here where this original section meets the piece that's coming up from the bridge became known as Dog River Junction, which is weird because this is not the Dog River. That is the Luna, come here for a sec. Come here. We'll fix Luna's camera here. Wonder if it's still recording. Yeah, it's still recording. So again, it's weird that this is called the Dog River because this is not the Dog River. This is the Matawin, sometimes called the Shibandawon River. The Dog River flows out of Dog Lake, and this river and the Dog River meet just back that way to form the Kaministiquia River, which is one of the largest rivers in the area, or the largest river in the area. I did see an old map that had this listed as the Dog River, which is, you know, just throw another name in the mix if it's not confusing enough. Here's another tie. So here we're approaching the junction point. You can see it widens out a little bit here. So this was a station. Dog River was a station from oh, there's a spike. See a spike down there. Dog River was a station on the line from 1924 until early 50s. Can't remember which year. 52-ish, 51. There's another tie there. Here you can see, we'll see some more of these. So they used to haul iron ore on this line from two mines, originally from the Bruce mines and then from the Matawin mine. These are the ones from the Bruce mines because they're pelletized. The one from the Matawin mine was more of a gravel-like texture. Here you can see it's all dark here. This is all coal that's been spilled. You can see the wrappers, the bundled wrappers for the ties. Here there's more coal that's been spilled. You can see it's kind of all dark here, and you can see there's bits of coal all over the place. So this is Dog River Junction. So here you have this newer piece of line that was constructed that comes up from the bridge. We're going to take a look at that momentarily. And this is where the grade would have continued. And so over here somewhere, yeah, here you go. So here you can see more piles of the iron blueberries, right? So all of the iron ore pellets. Somebody was goose hunting and got a goose. And there's geese feathers. Look, there's more iron ore pellets here. This used to be a mound. It used to be huge. I think people have come here and pillaged the mound a little bit. I guess if you have a slingshot, might make for some good ammunition for the slingshot. So here, if we zoom back this way, so this was this newer section of grade that was constructed in 1923, opened in 1924. Apologize if you're getting sun. I'll try to keep my head down. So this was the section that comes off the bridge, and just up ahead here you can see the bridge. So this is basically known as the Matawin River Bridge. Matawin River Bridge. So again, constructed in 1923, opened in 1924, and was used until the line was abandoned in 1994. So it's a combination bridge. So there's a truss portion, and then there's a deck plate portion. The truss portion is used because it needs to span over the tracks of the Canadian Pacific line. So basically there's a bunch of railway lines. So down there is the Canadian Pacific line, and just above it where this line branches off is the Canadian National line. Right, so they needed this truss portion to get over top of the Canadian Pacific, and then the deck plate portion to come across the river. So make sure you check out the video of the bridge. Again, we're here today because we're basically filming more video of the bridge, so we can finish that video off, get some more fall shots, and then we can kind of compare the two sets of footage. Okay, so let's just basically head back this way. We'll head back up to Dog River Junction. You can hear the river running. It's been very, very dry. The month of September, we had the grand total of 6 millimeters of rain, which is nothing, really. And it was extremely warm. So everything is very, very dry. There's supposed to be a little bit of precipitation coming tonight. We're going to be back at it tomorrow and doing another hike further to the west. Okay, so we're back here at Dog River Junction, and again, the grade continues that way to the west. All right, so let's wrap things up, and then we'll head back to the studio portion.
All right, so hopefully you enjoyed that. Now, a few things. First of all, you noticed in the video we did have the Luna cam activated, and it's actually been a while since we did a video with Luna. So if you don't know, Luna does have her own little video series. We did a whole bunch kind of early on when I started doing that, and I think this was the only one that we did last year where we had the camera on Luna. So basically you can see her perspective of our little sort of exploration. So make sure you check that out. There's a link in the description to that. Additionally, you're going to find in the, sorry, black flies, in the description, you're going to find links to the exploration videos. So you're going to see the bridge that we very briefly visit. So the bridge over the Matawin River. You're going to see a link to the exploration video of the stretch that we just went through, and a little bit more of Dog River Junction. Again, really neat things to see. Again, the cuttings on the north side and kind of going along the river. And again, you see the ties with the spikes still in them. You see some of the remains of the iron ore pellets that were spilled. Those came from the Griffiths mine, which was up in the Red Lake area. And basically that mine operated from 1968 to 1986. And that was a big part of the traffic that was being used on the line, the iron ore being shipped to Thunder Bay to be put onto to ships. And some of the coal that was spilt. So again, just a very, very beautiful area. So make sure that you check out Luna's video, that you make sure that you check out the exploration videos. So again, that you get a little bit more of a historical perspective on there, as opposed to this video, which we were kind of going, just a little bit more to sort of show you the area and just show you where things are located. So again, it's just an amazing area to be able to explore. Again, it was a beautiful day, beautiful fall day that we did that exploration. And in any case, we are going to be doing more fieldwork videos like this in the future. I do have one planned, I think, for kind of early fall, so right, late September, right before I get back into hiking season. We'll go and I'm thinking about maybe going up to the Flett Tunnel, and there's some other spots that we can take a look at as well. There's the Strawberry Creek Bridge, and a few other spots that we can throw in there as well. So again, there's lots of history associated with this line, and we're going to go and see those things. Now, we do have more episodes coming up. Our next month's episode is another one of these sort of field work, and that one's going to be going back to the Kinghorn. Now, what we've done is we've already filmed an episode in our Getting There sub-series, and we did that this spring when we were going out to one of our hikes on the Grand Trunk Pacific, a little bit further to the west up by Uppsala. So we have that one filmed. We just have to kind of do the narration part, and I'm looking at doing another one when I'm out this summer and doing some of the scouting or some of the recce's for some of the upcoming hikes that I have to do, and that one's going to take us probably way further to the west, up to Ignace and up Highway 599, almost to the Silver Dollar area, close to where the railway grade passes near Valora Station. So that one is sort of on tap. So again, lots more episodes that are in the works. So in any case, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed this exploration. Again, make sure you check out all of the associated videos as well. And again, we are going to be back next month with yet another video, and we have more videos on tap for the foreseeable future. So in any case, thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back next month with yet another episode. In the meantime, take care and stay safe.